Hello and welcome to the latest edition of your favorite show, Real Biz. I'm Rebecca Jarvis, and it's been a pretty hectic week, but let's start with the ABCs, also known as the alphabet, as in Google's name change. Confused? So was everyone else this week when the news hit. Here's the gist of it. Google is still Google. You can still Google your name to your heart's content. But because Google is developing new technology in way more areas than the search engine business, like YouTube, Calico, and Nest, they're putting everything under a new parent company, and it's called Alphabet. Across the world, China in focus, these terrifying images of a massive explosion in China's fifth largest city, Tianjin, an incredibly important business hub where more than half the world's Fortune 500 companies have factories. The fatality count there continues to climb. Separately, China's government devaluing its currency, the yuan, trying to stimulate their economy by making Chinese goods cheaper. Instead, it has set off a global stock market sell-off. Here's why. The move makes U.S. products way more expensive for Chinese consumers and companies to buy, which is a heavy burden on companies like Apple, which do a lot of business in China. And speaking of heavy, let's talk about the weight of McDonald's Quarter Pounder. The name is technically now incorrect. What should be a 4-ounce burger is now actually 4.25 ounces, before cooking that is. So far, Mickey D's hasn't raised the price, even though beef prices are up around the country. And the coolest innovation of the week, 96 million balls saving California's water supply. The shade balls are 4 inches in diameter, hollow, and cover local reservoirs to reduce evaporation and block sunlight. We especially enjoyed all the attention they got on social media. But maybe not as much as our visit to Las Vegas. When was the last time you hung out with an alpaca in a trailer park? Well, it's just what happens when you visit the CEO of online shoe company Zappos. Safe to say he is not your average billionaire. Here's Tony Hsieh in this week's Real Biz Rapid Fire. Zappos or Zappos?
Zappos.
Zappos.
Yes.
What does Zappos mean?
The Spanish word for shoes is zapatos. Took out a couple letters, added a P, and we collectively came up with Zappos.
How much sleep do you get?
3 to 8 hours.
What time do you get up?
6.
Mars or Pluto?
Mars?
You're moving to Mars?
If Elon Musk gets us there, yeah.
Do you think they're aliens?
The probability is pretty high.
Favorite movie?
Toss up between Terminator 2 and Pretty Woman.
Favorite food?
Mexican.
What would you spend your last dollar on?
Water.
What kind of phone do you carry?
iPhone.
iPhone 6.
Yes.
What app do you use the most?
Waze. There's a special thing where you can actually have it use Arnie's voice, Arnold Schwarzenegger. When you arrive at the destination, he says, "Hasta la vista, baby."
Hasta la vista, baby.
But then he also gives you the turn-by-turn directions as well.
Favorite toy as a kid?
This sounds bad, but my brother and I used to always play like spy games and handcuff each other and then put the key just out of reach and then try to escape. Is that weird?
So you loved handcuffs as a kid?
And they were used for magic tricks and so on.
Did you ever lose the
Yes.
key?
We learned how to pick them.
What's the last song you listened to?
I think Taylor Swift's You Belong With Me.
Are you a big Taylor Swift fan?
I really enjoy that song.
If you could have lunch with one person, who would it be?
Maybe Anna Kendrick?
Really?
Or Cher, actually.
Cher or Anna
Yeah.
Kendrick?
Yes.
What's the secret to your happiness?
Never being bored?
Our thanks to Tony Hsieh and his pet alpaca Marley, who I'm happy to report did not spit on me. Which brings us to the Real Biz Rundown. Coming in at number 5, all eyes on oil. Prices set to drop even further, maybe even as low as $30 a barrel, which is good news for most of the drivers in the week ahead, unless you live in Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, or Wisconsin, where prices are now popping because of problems at the BP refinery in Whiting, Indiana. Our experts say if you live in the Chicago area, expect to see prices up another 75 cents by this time next week. Coming in at number 4, help wanted. Calling all teachers and chefs, our kitchens and classrooms desperately need you. Schools and restaurants are seriously understaffed. Submit your resumes now. And speaking of school, our number 3 this week, just in time for day number 1 of school, that is. Joe's Jeans creating the first pair of pants that can charge your phone. The hashtag Hello Jeans retail for $189 and are compatible with the iPhone 5, 5S, and 6. And hopefully the new phone, which we hear is coming September 9th. You know what else is on the way? Number 2, you're not going to like it, a stock market sell-off. A majority of financial experts now saying we should expect a correction in the U.S. stock market. August and September are notoriously the worst 2 months of the year, so buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And finally, our number 1 story this week, and it is a turbulent one. An airline announcing they will now weigh every passenger prior to departure. Anyone deemed too heavy, well, they might be excluded from flying. Uzbekistan Airways announcing that everyone on their planes will first have to stand on weighing machines with their luggage, because flying isn't already traumatizing enough. And shockingly, they're not alone. Samoa Airlines introduced similar measures 2 years ago. And all we can say is good luck cashing in on those frequent flyer miles. That's all for this week, but let's continue the conversation. Tweet me at Rebecca Jarvis and be sure to like us and comment below and subscribe to the Real Biz with Rebecca Jarvis channel on YouTube. Until next time, adios.